We've all experienced the slot machine nature of standard AI outputs. One day, you get a brilliant analysis. The next, a hallucinated mess. Professionals need a workspace that locks into a reliable framework and executes exactly what it's told to do, every single time. If you are using an advanced model like Claude with the same casual language you'd use in a chatbot, you are sitting behind the wheel of a high-performance race car while it's stuck in first gear. You are moving, but you're missing the engine's real power. The problem is how we're conditioned to use these systems. We treat them like search engines, typing a single, vague sentence into a blank box and hoping for the best. But an agentic AI is not a lookup tool. Anthropic's own engineers use a specific three-step methodology to shift Claude into top gear. It's a process designed to move the model from a simple text generator to a reliable professional system. Mastering this technology isn't about coming up with clever questions. It's about learning how to build and orchestrate an intentional workspace. The first shift is moving away from conversational prompts and toward structural engineering. This starts with XML tags. These bracketed labels act as the primary language for sorting and labeling the information you give the AI. Because Claude was trained heavily on this format, it reads these tags far more reliably than plain headings or bullet points. When you wrap your persona and rules inside instructions tags, you define the system's operating parameters. This forcing function ensures Claude prioritizes your rules over its own training defaults, creating a level of reliability that conversational language can't match. You can then use document tags to isolate your reference data. This tells the system exactly where the facts are located, so it doesn't confuse your raw information with the commands it needs to follow. A loosely written paragraph leaves the model guessing what matters most. A strictly tagged framework creates a clear hierarchy where the instructions and the data never get tangled. XML tags don't just format your text. They provide a logical map that the model uses to prioritize every piece of information in the prompt. Even with a perfect prompt, repeating the same context every morning is exhausting. No one wants to retype their brand guidelines and core rules at the start of every single chat. The second shift is about creating a persistent environment for your work through Claude projects. By uploading your reference materials, your brand guidelines, and past work into a project, you establish a permanent baseline of knowledge. The AI retains this context across every session, so you can start each task from a higher level of understanding. This selective search is powered by RAG, or Retrieval-Augmented generation. Instead of loading every document into memory at once, Claude identifies and pulls only the specific, relevant data points it needs to answer your current request. This persistent memory transforms the AI from a short-term tool into a long-term, embedded collaborator that knows your business as well as you do. The final shift is the transition from asking for text-based answers to asking for functional products. This is the role of artifacts, an interactive window where code, SVGs, and data visualizations are rendered instantly. Instead of looking at a block of code and wondering if it works, you interact with the finished dashboard directly inside the workspace. For developers, this same autonomy is available locally through the Claude Code CLI, which brings the AI's agency directly into your terminal. This works through the Agentic loop, a three-phase cycle where Claude gathers context, takes action, and then verifies the results. It repeats this process until the task is successfully completed. Because it can act autonomously, the system can perform complex operations like reading entire repositories, editing files across multiple folders, and running test suites to ensure its own work is correct. Deploying these systems closes the gap between an abstract idea and a functional, finished product. When you combine these three shifts, your daily workflow undergoes a total transformation. XML structures to guide the logic, projects to retain the memory, and artifacts to build the results. It's a move from passive chatting toward active direction. You're no longer just a user, you are an orchestrator managing an intelligent system. Start today. Set up your first Claude project, upload your core reference documents, and structure your next request with XML tags. Moving out of first gear and adopting this systemic approach is the difference between managing a chatbot and directing a production-ready system.